The only risk in life is not to take the risk. Your mind is the genie and your wish is its command. I don't want to do that means let me delay you. So here's the classic mistake that comes up again and again and again. I see all my clients and they all say the same thing. I'm waiting for motivation. You know what? Motivation doesn't go, here I am, I'm motivation, I'm at your door, and I've come to motivate you. That never happens. Waiting to be motivated is a huge, big, classic mistake. You have to take action to become motivated. You see, I don't love going to the gym. I don't really love running. But I never wait for the motivation to run or go to the gym to come. I know if I get on that machine and start to work out, I become motivated. I have a Pilates machine in my house. I have exercise equipment in my house. I have a boat right outside my house, a kayak that I could go on every day. But if I don't take the first action, pick up my paddle, get on that paddleboard, get in that kayak, or stand on my Pilates reformer, I won't do it. And often I go, you know what? I'm really not in the mood. I'm going to do 5 minutes on the reformer. And the 5 minutes becomes 25 minutes because when I start, I keep going. I know most of you have had this experience. I don't really want to tidy the house, but I'm just going to do one little thing. I've put it off all day. Let me start do the laundry, tidy up the house, pick up stuff. And as you do it, you feel so good that you do more. Here's another thing I see with many people who say, I'm not motivated to have sex. A lot of women say to me, no, I'm not really motivated. I've got so much to do. Make the kids' lunchbox, put out the kids' clothes, walk the dog, tidy up the house, do the dishes. I feel like the last thing on my list is have sex with my husband. I don't want to tick that list. It's just another to-do. But then they said, but you know what? I decided to have sex, and the weirdest thing happened. I thought, ooh, I'm really into this. This is actually very nice. And as I began to have sex, I became motivated to really enjoy the sex, whether it's sex or running or tidying up. You do not become motivated until you take action. You know, I've written 5 best-selling books, and I know you don't wake up and go, oh, I'm so motivated to sit on my desk and write and write and write. You have to sit on your desk and go, you know, I'll just do some spell check. I'll just look at some chapters. I just do that. And then what happens is because you are taking action, because I'm taking action to just think, well, I'll just spell check and grammar check and look at the layout and the formatting. And as I do that, I suddenly become so motivated to write more. So if you want motivation, never, ever, ever wait for it to turn up at your door or in your living room, indeed in your bedroom or in your gym, because it won't. But when you take the first bit of action, suddenly you are motivated. Motivation begins when you take the action that you don't want to take. It's fine to go, you know, I don't really want to go to the gym, but I'm going. I don't really want to clean up my house. I'm doing it. I don't want to go through these emails or do my taxes or write out this speech, but I'm doing it. I'm not even in the mood today for sex, but I'm doing it anyway. And please don't think I'm saying you should have sex when you don't want to. I'm saying in a relationship with a person where you love each other, sometimes you think, well, you know, I could. Why not? Really in the mood, but I'm going to get in the mood. So I get in a lot of trouble saying, oh, you've just told me to have sex and I didn't want to. No, I haven't. I've told you that if you begin sex in a loving relationship, you'll often find that you start to like it and enjoy it because motivation follows action. It comes after action, not before. So remember, if you're waiting for motivation to turn up, it may never turn up. But if you take the action that you would like the motivation to give, if you do it first, all of a sudden, everything clicks into place. You take action. In taking action, you become motivated, and then you keep going. we've all done this. Suddenly I thought, well, I'll just do 10 minutes of stretching. I've been working out for an hour. I thought I'd just tidy up one drawer. I blitzed the whole house. Suddenly I'm motivated to really work on my business, work on my website, call my clients, do things, because instead of waiting for motivation to appear, I took the first steps. And here's something else that will really help you to be motivated. You must say, I like it, I want it, I have chosen it. I know as a writer, waking up thinking, oh no, I've got to write that book today. Oh, I'd rather be anywhere than here, doesn't work, because all of a sudden I have an overwhelming desire to tidy up the sock drawer, make all the silverware in order, straighten the cushions, because what did I tell my mind? Oh no, I don't want to do this. My mind's job is to do what I tell it and to take me away from what I tell it I don't want to do. So I get up and go, I love writing. I want to write. There is nowhere I'd rather be right now than writing this book. I recently met a runner and he said, you know, I run up this hill every day and I always hate it. And at the end I go, I can't take another step. But then I started to listen to you, Marisa. I started to go, I love running up this hill. I adore running up this hill. It thrills me. What was amazing is not only did he run up that hill, he ran down and up again. He said, I used to dread the count of 100 to get to the top of the hill. Now I'm getting up to 200. And I know the same thing when I'm working out. I go, okay, I've only got 20 sit-ups to do. And I think, I do another 20 now. I've only got 15 lunges left. And as I get to the last one, I think, well, why don't I do another 15? We can cope with anything we know there's an ending, and we motivate ourselves when we take action. But as well as taking the action, you have to go, I want it, I love it, I've chosen it, I like it, I like it, I like it, I want it, I want it, I want it. And I recently met a writer who said, you know, I found writing the most excruciating, lonely, isolating thing to do. And think of those words, excruciating, lonely, isolating. He said, but I listened to you, and I said, actually, it's thrilling, it's engrossing, it's absorbing, it's rewarding. I worked with a model once, and she said, you know, being a bikini model, it is torture, it's excruciating. I said, why? She goes, well, people look at my body. And I thought, isn't that interesting that she'd say being a bikini model is excruciating, agony, and torture. We all know it's not torture. It's certainly not excruciating, it's not agony, but the words you use define how you feel. Your words shape your reality. Take action, begin motivation, use the right words. I love it, I want it, I've chosen it. And finally, this one sentence, should you choose to use it, will change your entire life. I have chosen this. And I've chosen to feel great about it. I've chosen to spend all weekend working on my business, and there's nowhere else I'd rather be. I've chosen to write a book, write a speech, work on something, send it out. There's nothing else I'd rather do. I've chosen to work out, and while I work out, I keep saying, I love it, I love it. My body loves the sit-ups. My legs love these lunges. My arms love these pull-ups. It's what I call lie, cheat, and steal. Lie to your mind, cheat failure, steal back success. You know what to do. Take action first, don't wait. Use powerful, exciting words. This constant feeling of I could have, should have, would have, even affects your downtime. So when you've put something off, finally raced through it, done it not well enough, and now it's done. Instead of going, well, I've done it, you think, oh, I should have done it better. I could have done it better. What's wrong with me? Why do I do this all the time? I guess I'm just messed up. But that's not true. But what is true is that feeling of there's something wrong with me, I don't understand it, and I can't fix it. I guess I don't really want success. I guess I don't really want to even move out of my comfort zone because I'm procrastinating, even sabotaging my chances here. That will affect your self-esteem. It will affect your confidence. It will make you feel even more not enough than you felt before. So here's a good question. When you're lying on the couch eating potato chips, suddenly tidying up your sock drawer, when you know there's something really important that you could be doing and should be doing, you need to ask yourself a question. What is the benefit to me of delaying this? What am I getting out of this? If this procrastination had a role and a function and a purpose, what could it be? You see, here's the truth. Everything you're doing, your mind thinks you want to do that. You want to procrastinate. You want to leave everything until the last minute. You want to put that off. Often we say things like, oh, I hate studying. Oh, I hate doing my taxes. I hate doing my paperwork. I hate being under pressure. And if your mind picks that up, which of course it has no choice but to pick it up, it says, oh, you don't want to do that stuff. Let me give you an overwhelming urge to straighten out your drawers, to straighten the cushions, because you've told your mind something. Your mind is the genie and your wish is its command. I don't want to do that means let me delay you. Let me help you procrastinate. And why would you want to delay and procrastinate? Well, you can go to this through every area you like, but you're always going to come back to the same thing. I'm scared of failing. I'm scared of not being enough. I had a book and it's been in a drawer for 10 years, but I can't submit it. Why not? In case nobody likes it. I've got an idea for a product and I've just watched someone take my product idea and do really well. Why didn't I do that? Well, all roads lead to Rome. Every thread will take you to the same answer. Somehow I'm scared of being rejected. I'm scared of failing. I'm scared of not being enough. And it's easier to procrastinate and never do it and go, well, you know, I coulda, woulda, shoulda, but I just couldn't get it together. That's less painful than saying I did it. It was terrible. My book got awful reviews. Nobody bought my product. I lost all my money. We're so scared of being rejected. We're scared of failing, and that fear is so profound that it causes us to deny ourselves opportunities. But here's the truth. You cannot fail by trying. Failing to try is the same as trying to fail. If you wrote a book and it didn't do very well, you go, well, that's sad, but I gave it everything. I tried. I realized I wasn't meant to be a writer. I found something else. That's actually better than saying I could have always been a writer, but, you know, I just never finished it. Something wrong with me. The only risk in life is not to take the risk. Many people take a product to market, it doesn't work, but they bring it back and they try again and again, and they eventually get it right. We all know the KFC story of how many recipes Colonel Sanders had until he made it. We know how many times James Dyson worked on a prototype to get this incredible vacuum cleaner right. We know how many times Edison failed at creating a light bulb, but eventually he did it. It's when you give up that you feel a failure. But when you fail at something, you get better, you come back. And even if you don't, you can say, well, I did try that. I realized it wasn't going to work, so I found a different dream. I created a different plan. I realized I was going in the wrong direction, but you will never know that if you keep procrastinating. So understand procrastination is really two things, a fear of failure and a fear of being rejected. How do you overcome that? You go, well, hey, the only person who can reject me is me. And if I do this and it doesn't work out, have I really failed or have I learned something? When you change your perception of what failing is, what rejection is, it's okay. One Direction didn't win X Factor, but they went on to be phenomenally successful. Many people, Eminem was booed off the stage when he first tried to be a rapper. He said, I was so angry that they rejected me, but that anger made me come back better than ever. Could you do that? Could you take a minute and say, I'm scared of rejection, I'm scared of failing, but it's my job and my choice to say I cannot be rejected. The only person who can reject me is me. And if I don't take my product to market, make the best of myself because I'm scared that someone out there will reject me, what will happen is I'll reject me for not following my heart's desire, not following my dream. So you have to understand that nobody can reject you without your consent, which you never have to give. Discipline is something you acquire. It's like a muscle. If you work it, it gets better. So I'm going to tell you some absolute secrets of people who appear to be naturally disciplined. They're not. I've worked with many, many Olympic athletes. They don't go, yay, it's snowing, I'm going to get up and go out and train today. They have to keep saying, I want that Olympic medal, and this is the price I'm going to pay to get the Olympic medal. So before you begin to adopt self-discipline, take a minute and think, what do I want? What do I really, really, really want? And then answer another question, what price would I pay to get what I want? Do you want a great relationship? Well, you have to go out. You can't sit at home. You've got to go out and interact with people. You want a great job, you've got to go for some interviews. But there are some actually keys that very, very disciplined people have, and here is the most important one. And this would change your life if you do it. And I had to make myself do this. It was not natural at all. You must do what you don't want to do first. People who are hugely successful do this. They do the thing they hate first of all. I worked with somebody who was morbidly obese, and I said, you know, you have to work out. When I hate working out, you know, I'm heavy, it's really uncomfortable. I said, no, not only have you got to do it, you got to do it first. And I had to do that too. You see, if you don't like going to the gym and you go, I'll go later, then something happens, the phone rings, you eat something, you think, oh, it's too late now. When you go first, you think later, oh, I've been, I went to the gym first. I feel like a winner. You've got to make a very difficult call. You've got to ring someone who owes you money, or confront someone that you don't want to confront, and you wait. And all day it's hanging over your head, making you feel so bad. But when you do it first, you feel like a winner. Because people who have discipline do this. They do the thing they do not want to do first. And I want you to start saying that. I was giving a speech recently, and the guy who came on after me said, you know, I kept hearing a voice in my head going, Marisa said, do what you don't want to do first. He said, that has changed my entire business life. And all my staff remember that too. What do we not want to do? What's the worst job? Let's do that first and get it out of the way. So that is secret one to having incredible self-discipline. Tell yourself, make yourself do what you don't want to do first. And of course, in the beginning, this will be what you do, but you know what will happen? It starts to become who you are. It becomes easy. It becomes seamless. It's a bit like putting lenses in your eye. It feels seriously odd to suddenly jam your finger in your eye. But if you do it every day, it becomes easy. Because that's how habits are formed. You make a habit, and then your habits make you. So make your habits amazing. So you've got habit 1. Here is habit 2. Take action every single day in the direction of your goals. And that doesn't mean work for 10 hours a day, but even on a Saturday or a Sunday, if you're building your business, spend 5 minutes answering 1 email, making 1 call, because that's what winners do. They don't have a day off when they are on their way to success. They take action every single day in the direction of their goals. And here's point 3, and it possibly is the most important point of all. Delay gratification. Delay the reward. You see, years ago we went to work and our boss would go, hey, good job, you did really well today. But now a lot of us don't have a boss. We work for ourselves. We work from home. You may be a coach or a marketer. You don't have a boss praising you. Without praise, your praise muscle never really grows. What happens when you work for yourself is halfway through you stop and you do something. And what you have to do in the morning is go, right, I love my cappuccino, but I'm going to do something first. Make 6 calls, send out an email, then the cappuccino is my reward. And in the evening, you've got to think of your dinner and your TV as a reward. I'm going to reward myself. And you see, if you see it as a reward, it makes you work better. It's a big problem that we take the reward first. I'm going to eat that, have a nice dinner, and I'll do all the other stuff later. And you know what happens? Later never comes. So you have to now do what we naturally do as parents. We say when you finish your homework, you can go out to play. At school, you have work, and then playtime. A parent will say, tidy up your room, and then you might have ice cream. So we are naturally wired to take the reward after the work. But what's happened is we now give ourselves the reward before the work, and then we don't feel any inspiration to do the work. So I promise you, if you adopt these 3 habits, it will change your life. Do what you don't want to do first. Take action every day in the direction of your goals, no matter how small the action is. The smallness doesn't matter. What matters is you are wiring your mind, coding your mind, firing into your mind the habits of natural winners. And then you'll be a winner. And who cares if it's unnatural? That's not important. And point 3, of course, is delay gratification, delay your reward. When I was writing my first book, it was quite time consuming, and then my publisher rang me up and said, you know what, we're bringing the date forward by a whole month, like a whole month early. I was finding it really hard to finish it, and for that month I couldn't read a paper, I couldn't watch a movie. My favorite series happened to be on at the time, and I had to record it every day. I couldn't watch it, and I kept thinking, when I finish this, I'm going to take the whole day off, I'm going to binge watch that whole series. I had a little bag full of all the magazines and periodicals that I couldn't read, but I finished it because I kept thinking about that reward. And then I did take a day and watch everything I hadn't watched, read everything I hadn't read. And all my friends rang up and said, you must feel so great, you finished your book. I went, yeah, but you know what? I kind of miss it, actually. I'd really got into that discipline of getting up, writing, working. And that brings me to one more point I hadn't mentioned, and this is also very important. When you're doing that work, praise yourself. You know, when I wrote my book, I had to keep saying, this book is amazing, this book is phenomenal. Everyone is going to love this book. That may sound incredibly arrogant, but imagine if I'd said, oh my God, this book's not very good. In fact, this bit sucks. And what if nobody likes it? And what if nobody buys it? What if, oh my God, it doesn't even get a mention? You see, the way your mind works is it believes everything you tell it. Your mind can't really future pace. And if you do anything saying it probably won't work, imagine you go on Tinder going, oh, I'm just going to get ghosted. I know that's going to happen. No one's going to want me. I'm going to open a business. No one's going to buy my product. I'm going to be a coach, but no one is going to want to be coached by me because I don't have enough experience. Your mind cannot tell the difference between fact and fiction. What you tell your mind is real, as far as your mind is concerned. If you say it, it's true. And that's why when I wrote my first book, I said, this is amazing, this is phenomenal, this is extraordinary. When I got it back and I read it, I thought, do you know what? It's actually not. I can really see in the first 3 chapters that I'd never written a book before, but then I could see after the first 3 how it picked up. But no one else seemed to see that because it was indeed a bestseller. I always imagined it I used to tell my little girl, one day you're going to see Mummy's book in the front of this bookstore. And that's exactly what happened. And we took pictures because I could see it. And if you can see it, you can achieve it. So do that too. And you're doing any task. Even if you're going to the gym and doing 300 sit-ups or the plank, don't go, oh my God, this is painful. Go, I love this. My body loves it. My body loves every sit-up. My arms love the plank. My spine loves this. When you're eating food, tell yourself, my body is digesting this. So remember to praise yourself, because these 4 things combined will give you phenomenal, incredible self-discipline. And self-discipline will change your life. Check out my next video here. The best plan in the world may not work if you don't work too. So many of my clients get into destructive behavior, drugs, drinking, procrastination, self-loathing, because we can't appreciate stuff that we're just given. We like it much more when we earn it.